It looks like everyone is joining us. Welcome, everyone. I'm Kathleen Lane, Executive Director of AIA Baltimore, and thank you for joining us for this very special occasion for our chapter, our 150th birthday. Before we begin, we have just a few items for your Zoom experience. Please just remember to mute your audio and disable your video for now. You can enable those again for the toast at the end. Please use speaker view, and most importantly, be sure to have your favorite beverage ready and possibly also a piece of birthday cake. Now I'm pleased to introduce our hosts for the celebration, Scott McGovern, our 2021 AIA Baltimore President, and Laura Wheaton, 2021 President-elect. We are here, socially distant of course, at our new Center for Architecture and Design. Scott?
Thank you, Kathleen. I'm pleased to be here in the new Center for Architecture and Design, in the base of this beautiful, iconic Mies van der Rohe building at 100, at 1 Charles Center. Again, as Kathleen indicated, this is a very special day for us. Laura's here in her own glass cubicle. Kathleen's in her class office, and we're all here but together but apart, as we've been all used to for the last 9 or 10 months. Okay, next slide. Okay, thanks. As Kathleen indicated, the reason we're here today is it's a very special, momentous occasion for us. On this date, January 13th, 1871, the New York chapter of the Institute of Architects chartered us here in Baltimore, making this our sesquicentennial. Sesquicentennial, sesquicentennial. I practiced all year, so I'm going to say it. Sesquicentennial. That's what it is. Thank you very much.
Good job, Scott. And we want to celebrate our chapter and kick off our anniversary year with an exciting hour-long program. We're going to have live remarks from esteemed guests, pre-recorded content that was generously created to premiere today, and an opportunity for everyone to show off their trivia knowledge of the chapter. Our program will conclude with a toast to the past 150 years and to the promise of our collective future.
Thanks, Laura. Yeah, Laura and I did not do this all alone. We had a great task force helping us as well. So I'd like to recognize Melanie Ray, AIA, Kathleen Stargall-Sherrill, AIA, Evan Richardson, David Gleason, FAIA, Jillian Storms, AIA, and of course the wonderful AIA BAS staff who have helped us through trying times to add yet one more fun thing for them to do in the midst of a pandemic.
We also would like to take a moment to thank our annual sponsors supporting AIA Baltimore in our anniversary year. We're thankful for these often long-term relationships that elevate our programming and our outreach.
For those considering making a special donation or a special gift to honor our 150th anniversary, we really encourage you to contribute to the Center Fund. The Center Fund supports the costs for the design, construction, and ongoing operations of the new Center for Architecture. Your contribution matches those funds that were seeded through the previous financial wizardry of previous boards and previous executives. There's plenty more room on this slide to add your name, plus on the donor wall to my left. So please consider donating. I'd first like to introduce our first guest speaker. We've got taped greetings from the Honorable Brandon M. Scott, Mayor of the City of Baltimore.
Hey, it's Mayor Brandon Scott, and I want to congratulate Baltimore American Institute of Architects for celebrating 150 years of operation. Thank you for all of the work that you've done over that 150-year period to make Baltimore the beautiful, vibrant city that it is. Understand that as we move forward, I am going to be counting on you to create opportunities for Baltimore to reimagine itself through architecture and make us a more vibrant city for the next 150 years to come. As we dig in and tackle the issues of inequity and racism that have existed here in Baltimore, AIA is going to play a critical part as we're going to be rebuilding our neighborhoods anew that have been ignored. And I know that the great creative minds that you have in your membership will help Baltimore become the best version of itself. Thank you and congratulations again.
Thank you so much to Mayor Scott. And now it's my great pleasure to introduce the 2021 AIA President, Peter Exley. Peter's service to AIA includes serving as a Strategic Council member, Board at-Large Director, Chair of the Public Outreach Committee, and President of AIA Chicago. He's the co-founder and director of Architecture is Fun, an internationally recognized practice centered on elevating the standards of design for learning and play environments for children, families, and communities. It was recognized as the AIA Chicago Firm of the Year in 2017. Peter has also been an adjunct professor at the School of the Art Institute of Chicago for over 25 years. Peter, we're so glad to have you with us today.
It's great to be with you all. And it's great to follow Mayor Scott. Thank you for those incredible words. So today too, I'd like to congratulate AIA Baltimore for 150 years and an extraordinary legacy. Here's a little bit of history for you. 50 years ago in 1971, Archibald Rogers, FAIA, the 50th president of the Institute, actually instigated the National Growth Policy, which formulated policies on urban growth and land development. This is perhaps well known to you all in Baltimore. But this policy anticipated threats to air and water pollution and urged massive reduction in dependence on fossil fuel dependency by the year 2000. He also generated a significant coalition to address equitable housing and low-income housing policy. So it seems apropos to me 50 years on that AIA is singularly committed to these issues and reaffirming our focus and commitment to catalyze equity and to emphasize climate action. As challenging as this past year has been, one positive outcome is that we're seeing a growing awareness of the importance of the built environment as we address pandemic, climate crisis, and systemic racial injustice. And as challenging as this past week has been, we should all remember that what unites us, the belief that we are created equal and have a responsibility to leave our society better than the way we found it, that is far more important and enduring than suspicion and division. As architects, we're all committed to these ideals. The recognition that all communities need and deserve spaces that are healthy, equitable, safe, and sustainable. That provides an unprecedented opportunity to achieve lasting change. And we have never been better prepared or equipped to make that impact. If you consider how far architecture, technology, material science, and fabrication have come in the last 50 years, since Archibald Rogers made that national growth policy, it should be as clear to you as it is to me. This year is different. There's a new magnetic north of influences from the next generation of architects, combined with the cutting edge technology we have at our disposal, plus our renewed focus as an organization. It all points to a new leadership moment in our profession. Working together, we can harness design's adaptive, disruptive power in new ways to build the healthy, equitable, and sustainable future that everyone deserves. This moment for AIA Baltimore is a milestone on the journey we take as architects. And I congratulate AIA Baltimore today for the work that will define the next chapter in your history. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Peter. We're so glad that you were able to join us.
Thank you, Mark.
You're good.
Good, okay, thank you. We're still figuring out Zoom. I want to first introduce Walter Chamu, FAIA, who's recorded a brief history of the chapter for us. Walter was not only a past president of our chapter, but also the founder of the Baltimore Architecture Foundation. So he's had a long storied history with the chapter and architecture in Baltimore in general. So let's go to Walter's video. This video, of course, is one of many we hope to have hosted this year on our website. So please contribute your own.
The chapter was founded in 1871, and it was really pretty much a group fellow architects getting together to say that they had a career, a profession, and that profession needed to be recognized. And they put themselves pretty much into the same guild hall, as I call it, the American Institute of Architects, which had formed in other cities. And they formed their own chapter here and started to have meetings and started to address the problems of the building code in the city and problems of how architects are hired and compensation there too. Before this time, the profession was pretty loosely organized and not really held to a sort of a code of ethics and a standard of practice that they felt was necessary, given that so much was going on in the 1870s in building of Baltimore. So it seemed the appropriate time to do that. Richard Upjohn, who was in town in the 1850s, designing St. Paul's Church, Old St. Paul's Church at Saratoga and Charles Street. He was an out-of-towner. He went on down to Washington to found the National AIA, but our charter, the chapter charter, is signed by Richard Upjohn, and that's quite a relic to have. So anyway, I think there was a need for these guys to get together, and I think they did so in friendly conviviality of probably a meeting and then some cocktails. I'm not sure of that, but that's how it was. That's how some of the stories have been related to me over the years. That the chapter was kind of like a fraternity, and I mean that men only. And it wasn't until Barbara Wilkes was one of our first our first female president of the chapter, that time and that day and age changed. John Orrick is no longer with us, but he used to talk about how important the AIA chapter was to him and to his fellow architects. He was part of the post-World War II vintage architects who came back after the war and really lost 4 or 5 years of their life, but started up again when they got out of the military. By the way, the military figures too, with Palmer and Lambden and a few others of the 1916, the World War I vintage, they went to war and they came back and they said, well, now it's time to build Baltimore back, although we were certainly unscathed, but the profession was hard hit by World War I and World War II. The one thing that caught my eye recently was how much of mid-century modern we have in Baltimore, at least in the residential market, out in the Green Spring and Worthington valleys, and how these fellows like Charlie Richter had a modernist house, Charlie Ness had a very modernist house, Dick Ayers. Everybody was following what Alex Cochran started after World War II when Alex came to town. I don't think it's no secret that he was a modernist. He had gone to Harvard, Yale, and Princeton. He got his education pretty well covered. I mean, I remember just at the chapter level, there was great interest. Is why we pretty much started the Baltimore Architecture Foundation. There was a lot of interest from the public in the great buildings of downtown. There were also architectural firms that were hanging up their practice, and they didn't know what to do with their drawings. So we helped find homes for them. So that was kind of fun to do. There was an awareness going on. The architects were experimenting here locally. Gosh, I'm trying to remember the dates of all of it. We've got Charlie Brickbauer's USF&G glass box out there in Mount Washington, which is cutting edge and very exciting building. I think it's now Piper Marbury law firm. Trying to think down in the Inner Harbor, we really started expanding out towards a whole new inner city in our Harbor East. That was exciting. I can't remember the exact time when I think the aquarium came in the 80s, as did Harbor Place, but soon thereafter we got the stadium. But we are one of the oldest, and we have a very rich history, including 3 of our past presidents of the local chapter became national presidents, Jimmy Edmonds, Charlie Ness, and Archie Rogers. And we have some vice presidents living today. Ed Horde was a vice president. Leon Bridges was a vice president of national. So the roots of the profession are deep here, and I think they're very proud. We should celebrate those.
Okay, thank you, Walter, for that. And again, if you've got your own history of architecture in Baltimore, please share with us on our website. Let's do a little fun now. It's trivia time. Win a prize. Be the first person to correctly answer this question in the Zoom chat. If you click chat at the bottom of the lower part of the screen, you'll see that on the side, if you haven't done that yet this year. So let's go to the first question. AIA Baltimore was the blank chapter created since 1867. Enter your answer in the chat.
Keep guessing, folks. No one's got it yet.
I don't think we have a winner yet.
Oh, and we have a winner.
We have a winner.
Congratulations to James Dorr. We are the 6th chapter, following New York, Boston, Philadelphia, Chicago, and Cincinnati. So, James, your prize will be, and I know you're going to be so excited for this, a copy of the chapter history written by Charles Balfour. We will get your information and have this ship out to you post-haste.
Congratulations.
And in addition to founding the Baltimore Architecture Foundation, it was also members of AIA Baltimore that initially founded the Neighborhood Design Center back in 1968. NDC has played a role in many of our professional journeys, including a large one in my own. And Jennifer Gould, Executive Director of NDC, has been gracious to record for us a message about this special part of our chapter history. Let's go to that video.
Thank you, AIA Baltimore, so much for inviting me to celebrate your birthday this evening. My name is Jennifer Gould. I'm the Executive Director of the Neighborhood Design Center. Baltimore's Neighborhood Design Center, Maryland's Neighborhood Design Center, is the state's community design center. We were founded in 1968 by members of the AIA Baltimore architects in order to provide pro bono design assistance to community-initiated projects in low and moderate income communities. And the mission of the organization is to provide communities with those foundational processes and documents that support getting community investment off the ground in parts of our city that have been starved of investment since the mid-century. That 68 design movement, we were one of the founding design centers in the country, and are so proud to continue to partner with AIA members, but designers of all ilks at this stage, whether they be landscape architects, planners, architects, graphic designers, UX, social design, all the ways that you can imagine coming together to reimagine a city for equity and health and financial well-being and personal well-being, really working with neighborhoods to tackle whatever issues they have at hand. It really is this symbiotic experience of working on an NDC project where, designers get different kinds of skills, soft skills, project management skills, but also just get to be in closer relationship with our city, and that that the community members learn a lot about another type of language, the language of design, learn about how to engage with the city in processes like something like zoning or transportation design. So there's a skill set that's gained on the neighborhood side, but there's also an experience and a skill set of really doing that deep engagement work and listening work, and oftentimes kind of setting aside your own vision and goals and learning how to really work deeply towards someone else's vision and goals. NDC was founded directly out of the AIA, and then by the early 70s set up as an independent nonprofit organization. And during that early phase, we were primarily staffed by Vistas and an executive director. And it really became clear that in terms of providing maximum impact, that the most effective structure to work with was this pro bono design format. And although we've always had other programs that worked in other ways, that's been our core program across all of history, is to provide pro bono design. I rely on AIA, and I feel like they also, love having access to the exciting different types of work that we are able to do. We in the last couple of years came up with a new award through the AIA Awards, and have cherished the opportunity to see those kinds of benefit projects come forward out of AIA, have the opportunity to talk about what meaningful community-led design means at another platform through the awards system, and to have the chance to celebrate the designers that often volunteer for NDC as they do their other work as well through the AIA. So thank you so much for sharing the stage with me tonight. I really just want to take a moment to again say how much I cherish the architecture of Baltimore. I know we all do, and that without the AIA, the design and character of the city would never have flourished the way that it does and has. And so happy birthday, AIA.
Thank you, Jennifer, for those kind words and for your continued mission at the NDC. Some of you may know that we're one of the largest chapters of the AIA. Any chapter over 1,000 members is what's considered to be a big SIB among all the chapters across the country. There are about 15 of them. We entered this elite club about 5 years ago, and we're quite proud about that. So we also affectionately call basically any chapters older than us our older SIBs as well as the big SIBs. So during these very challenging, hectic Christmas season and holiday season, two of those older SIBs were able to record greetings for us. First up, we have John B. Campbell, AIA, RIBA, representing AIA Philadelphia.
Being president of the Philadelphia chapter of the AIA celebrating our 150th anniversary was a great honor. Our 150th anniversary provided us with the chance to look back at our rich architectural legacy and the contribution to the built environment. As part of our celebration, we curated an exhibit, A City by Design, 150 Years in Philadelphia, which highlighted the richness of Philadelphia's built environment to create a sense of place and the proud contribution our profession has made. We appreciated the opportunity during our anniversary with our fellow chapters by hosting the AIA annual Big SIBS gathering, an important forum to share common themes and actions. Plus, we had the opportunity to showcase the city's excellent architectural work, both from the past as well as the contemporary. In addition to celebrating the past, we finalized our new strategic plan and how we plan to play a leading role in addressing the many issues that we all face to create a vibrant and sustainable built environment for the next 150 years. Finally, I'd like to say congratulations to everybody at the AIA Baltimore chapter in celebrating your 150th anniversary. Congratulations.
Thank you, John. Next, we have Cynthia Williams, AIA, representing AIA Cincinnati.
Hello, I'm Cynthia Williams, the 2020 president of AIA Cincinnati, and it is my honor to congratulate AIA Baltimore on your sesquicentennial anniversary. We at AIA Cincinnati celebrated our sesquicentennial in 2020, where we celebrated 150 years of dedication to, in the words of our founders, promoting the artistic, scientific, and practical efficiency of the profession. Throughout the year, we learned that our founders had many of the same focus that we did, and one thing that they focused on was gaining knowledge about the profession of architecture, and they usually did so as a community over a meal. Well, unfortunately, the pandemic restrictions meant that we could not gather over a meal in person. However, the silver lining is that we are able to gather virtually, and not only with the people in our own geographic area, but with other chapters across the country and across the world. And so it is my great pleasure to be able to join you in your celebration and to say congratulations, AIA Baltimore, on 150 years of promoting the profession of architecture, and here's to the next 150. Cheers.
Thank you, Cynthia, for those kind words. Now it's time for our second trivia question. Same drill as last time. You can win a prize if you're the first person to answer correctly in the chat. Let's bring up the question. From which firm's offices was the first chapter operated?
Got some good guesses so far. No one's got it yet. All right, let's see if, can you guess what the address was? Or guess, whoever can guess what street we were on. I am going to give it to Eric because we were on Lexington Street. We were at the offices of Hutton and Murdoch at 46 East Lexington Street. So we're gonna call this one for Eric, and Eric, you also get a copy of the chapter history. So congratulations. This will be arriving on your doorstep at some point as soon as the United States Postal Service can get it to you. All right. So important to our cultivation of the next generation of architects and the promotion of discourse between all voices in the profession is AIA Baltimore's relationship with our two nearby accredited programs at Morgan State University and the University of Maryland. We're pleased to have live remarks today from representatives from both. First, I'd like to introduce Dr. Marianne Akers, Dean of the Morgan State University School of Architecture and Planning.
Thank you, Laura. I bring greetings from Morgan State University School of Architecture and Planning. AIA Baltimore, happy 150 years. This is indeed a monumental milestone, and you play a critical role in Baltimore's future. The School of Architecture and Planning has always had a strong connection with AIA Baltimore. Your members teach our courses, teach our studios. You open up your firms for our students to tour. You offer internships. You also have served on design juries and many, many more. Thank you very much. Our growth at SAP has been in large part due to your continued support. I would also like to say that in the past several years, AIA Baltimore has been genuinely committed to diversity, inclusion, and equity. You have not only talked the talk, but you have walked the walk, and arm in arm with Morgan State. Thank you. You have made our students visible in all that you do. One of our priorities in the next few years is to chart a clear and intentional pathway to licensure for our students and our alumni. And we look forward to partnering with AIA Baltimore as we embark on this journey. Again, thank you and congratulations.
Thank you so much, Dean Akers, for your thoughtful message. Secondly, I'd like to introduce Dr. Donald W. Leibenbach, Interim Dean of the University of Maryland School of Architecture, Planning, and Preservation.
Thank you very much, and great congratulations and celebrations to AIA Baltimore on this 150th anniversary and the beginning of your sesquicentennial celebration. Just a fantastic time to, I think, launch into this next 150 years. It's been a troubled time, but it's one that I think that our professions can really make a difference in creating better built environments, more just built environments, healthier built environments. And we certainly have been striving for that at the School of Architecture, Planning, and Preservation at the University of Maryland, as has our colleagues at Morgan State. And I was so pleased to hear those remarks from Dean Akers. We do want to partner. We have partnered with you all. As Dean Akers said, many of you teach classes for us. Our students have worked in your firms. Many of your members are students from the University of Maryland. And so we're very proud of all of you in what you've done here in this 150 years. And I have to say, I'm so jealous to see that charter. That is just a beautiful piece of art and archive that I hope you'll treasure for a long time. Our students have enjoyed participating in your competitions. I think they've been excited to have gotten the recognition and the honor of working under many of you. So we at Maryland, all of us, the faculty, the staff, the students, want to send a tremendous welcome and congratulations to AIA Baltimore. We look forward to working with you and the new center in getting Maryland into a Baltimore location one of these days. And Dean Akers and I have been talking about ways that we can work together to do that with your leadership. So thank you again for this opportunity to address this special occasion, and happy birthday, AIA Baltimore.
Thank you so much, Dean Linebaugh. Scott, I'm going to throw it back to you.
Okay, thank you, Laura. Next, we have messages recorded from AIA Maryland President Jennifer Verbeck.
Hello, I'm Jennifer Verbeck, the 2021 AIA Maryland President. Maryland is proud to be the home of one of the oldest chapters within the American Institute of Architects. AIA Baltimore is also the largest chapter within the state of Maryland and a member of the Big Zips. Through their programs and community outreach, AIA Baltimore does a great job throughout the year of showcasing the importance of architecture and design for all, and not just our members. The new Center for Architecture and Design will surely strengthen and promote these endeavors in the near future. On behalf of the Board of Directors of AIA Maryland, I'm so happy to extend our congratulations to AIA Baltimore on their 150-year anniversary. We look forward to seeing what the next 150 years will bring.
Thank you so much to Jennifer Verbeck and AIA Maryland. One of our chapter's brightest moments in an otherwise tumultuous 2020 was the opening of the Center for Architecture and Design. Laura, Scott, and I are broadcasting to you from the center today, in part to demonstrate the promise of this space, and it's our hope that you too will soon enjoy it in person. Until then, here's a brief video highlighting our chapter's new home. Our AIA Baltimore 150th Anniversary Task Force has been working hard to envision a full year of celebration in honor of this milestone anniversary for our chapter. Architecture Month will be a peak for events, and it is our sincere hope that by October, we can all safely gather in person. We're thrilled that several AIA Baltimore committees and Baltimore Architecture Foundation have taken the 150th as inspiration for their 2021 program plans, and you'll see anniversary-related activities throughout the year. Our chapter is fortunate to have an exceptional staff who are helping to make this year memorable, and we're very fortunate to have Scott leading us as president. I'll now turn it over for a celebratory message from 2021 AIA Baltimore President Scott McGovern.
Thank you, Kathleen. We've heard a lot today of our chapter's history and our timely accolades from friends, colleagues, and members. So now I want to look forward towards the next 150 years as we continue to enhance the built environment in ways that enrich the lives of all members of society that experience it. As we collectively serve as a voice of reason and tolerance when one needs to be heard. And as we continue to encourage diversity, equity, and inclusion among our profession so that it better mirrors that of society in which we practice. Happy 150th anniversary, AIA Baltimore. Cheers. Thank you for joining us today. We hope you've enjoyed the presentation as much as we've enjoyed putting it together, and look forward to seeing you in 2021 here. Thanks.